Susan Chainer with Sage Leadership Strategies, and I'm your host today of Community Forum. And I have the great pleasure to have with me Christine Benezra, who is currently the president of Danbury Animal Welfare Society, otherwise known as DAWS, in Bethel. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Susan, for having us.
Well, thanks for joining us. So can you just, for our viewers that aren't familiar with DAWS, can you just explain what DAWS is and how it serves the community?
Sure, my pleasure. DAWS is our local animal rescue organization. We've been around since 1974. We've continued to evolve since then. Last year we celebrated our 35th anniversary. We had over 600 adoptions. It was an all-time high in adoptions for us. So we focus on rescuing animals, rehabilitating them if necessary, and then sending them out to qualified adoptive homes.
So last year was a record year. What do you attribute that to?
You know, it's interesting because we were nervous considering the economy, what was going to happen. We're not sure. We're hoping that it was because we've continued to build our community ties and people are starting to realize where we are. We just had a new sign put in front of our building. Before it was a little anonymous. It could have been mistaken for something else, but now it's clearly people can see that this is where we are.
Have you done more fundraisers, or maybe I'm just more aware of them in the last few years?
Well, we do have several fundraisers. Our two major anchor events have definitely brought in a lot of publicity for us. Earlier this year we had the second annual Puppy Love Ball. Thank you, Cheryl. We had our second annual Puppy Love Ball where we had honored Congressman Chris Murphy. So that definitely brought us some recognition.
What's a Puppy Love Ball? That sounds kind of fun.
So a few years ago, one of our benefactors had wanted to celebrate the memory of her dog, and she thought the best way to do that was to throw a party. So she threw a party for DAWS in her dog's honor. And she helped with some of the underwriting of the initial events, and we basically have a silent auction, a live auction, and it's a night of celebration of what animal rescue is all about. And so we've continued that tradition from when she started, or gave us the kickstart for it.
That is adorable. Well, I know we can talk more about it, but I know we've got some actual animals here.
Yes.
So we probably should get to them early on, don't you think?
Exactly. 600 last year was fantastic, but I'd like to introduce you to two animals that we have up for adoption right now in the shelter.
Okay.
And of course, our volunteer cat program chair, Cheryl Rakowski.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. Thanks for having us come back, or come on.
Yeah.
We have two cats today, and I want to tell you a little bit about the cats before I show you the cats, because cats are cats and they're a little unpredictable. So once I get them out, they might walk around, but they might be a little timid. So I want to tell you about them first.
Okay. I'm just going to look at them because, just for our viewers, I would love to hold them, but I'm allergic.
That's okay. That's fine. Not a problem. Thankfully, I'm not.
Okay.
So I have two cats today. In the red carrier is
door number one.
In door number one is Farah, and Farah is a beautiful cat. She's a long-haired cat. She came to us several months ago. She's very sweet. She's one of our slightly older cats. She's about 10 years old. She's got a wonderful disposition and great markings. When we got her, she had kind of long hair that was matted, so we had to shave her. So for a long time, she looked like a lion with a big poofy mane and a very shaved, sleek body, but she's fluffing out again. She is
How do you know she's 10 years old? Did you get her from the owner? Or?
Farah was, I believe, Farah was a surrender, so we have her approximate age, plus all of the cats and dogs that we get into the shelter are vetted upon arrival, so our vets are able to at least give an age approximation.
Now, I know you use the term surrender, which you know, my family's had our own issues with a problematic dog, and thinking what we could do with it. And surrender, tell us a little bit about that word. That's just to me, that seems like a really charged word, surrender.
Well, it happens. Certainly in 2008 and 9 with the economy, we had both dogs and cats that were surrendered because of people having financial problems and not being able to care for their animals, or people having to move house to maybe downsize and not being able to take their animals with them. So
it must be very emotional for some
It is.
people.
And we've had people who have surrendered their animals come back and visit with their animals, or try to follow up and understand who, has their animal been adopted, if so, by whom. We don't give out names and addresses, but we will. you know, say that it was adopted by a family with children and they live in the area or whatever the case may be, so that these people who are surrendering their animals can understand that yes, a loving home has been found.
And so even though they can't care for them for whatever reason,
Correct.
obviously they still care about the animal and want to
Correct.
make sure they're doing okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so we're happy to share that information. So people have very valid reasons for surrendering animals, and we honor that at all times. And we're happier that someone brings an animal to us than abandons an animal.
You know what, I'm wondering, because for some families it may be very difficult, what would you say to them in terms of if they feel like they're going to be judged like they're awful people because they're not caring for their animals?
They will not be judged. That
Okay.
It is a caring act to surrender an animal to a no-kill organization like ours, where the animal will be cared for and it will be placed for adoption and it will be found a forever home.